Hi, my name is Sarah Narenberg, and I'm going to talk through how I'm going to disseminate information that are related to my professional goals. So just to go over what those goals all are, I'm looking at becoming a cross-cultural geriatric care consultant, and what that means is I'm going to help older adults and their families to organize and prioritize their needs. So it could be providing assistance to them on evaluations, on counseling, coordinating services, or just routine monitoring that will help them, that helps focus and ensure that older adults have the support that they need in order to age. So some of the challenges around me entering this field are the fact that I need to convince people that the consulting that I'm doing is a service that they would like to pay for, that it's worth paying for. I have somewhat of an unconventional background for entering in this field, and I'm hoping the MS in Aging Studies will help. But the more I read about it, the more I realize that I really need to work on having them trust me to provide them information that will help them out. One thing I have going for me is that I am very active in the local community with volunteer work and being on some boards with aging organizations, and that I sort of know the pulse of the community. So probably this type of job I wouldn't be able to do virtually because it really is place-based work. Except for the fact that there might be family members who live out of town who might be able to use my services in a virtual way with somebody who lives here to be able to help them out. So the potential audiences for some of this information might be older adults themselves, their families, or their caregivers. Could be clergy or somebody that they talk with who just needs to have somebody else out there who understands this field better. Could be social service agencies, although they often have their own people, but sometimes not enough. Probably wouldn't be something like Real Services because they have their own geriatric care consultants that really work with a specialized population. I can't imagine that they would pay for an outside consultant on that. And then another possible audience would be doctors or healthcare providers, so letting them know that there's somebody out there that can help them to navigate these issues. So some of the methods that might be used to disseminate the information, I think for anybody who's going into consulting in today's day and age, they really need to have a good website. Looking at some that are out there right now, people don't really update their websites, and they're usually pretty, I guess this is not the number one priority for a lot of people in the consulting world, or at least in this area. So they're pretty old, or they don't work on cell phones. So it would have to be something very intentional and really work with somebody who knows how to create these. I also think since I am new to the field, it's going to be really important to team up with existing organizations and to go out to physician groups or community groups to lunch and learns and give presentations on what this is all about and the services that I can provide. Also could go and disseminate information about the service through brochures that could be placed in doctor's offices or at hospitals. But even more so, I think that along with the website, having some sort of e-newsletter that goes out periodically to keep people aware of the services, because people might become aware of it but not need them right now. And so often it's sort of a last minute thing, like, oh my God, I got to find somebody. And so having my name in front of them the whole time, like maybe a monthly newsletter would be good. Also, I see a lot of people who use Substacks, things like that, or blogging. I think it would be really important for me to be able to show people that I actually have the information that will help them. So by doing a blog, it could show sort of my own knowledge base that I've accumulated from my volunteer work and from this program to show how I could be of service to them. With respect to how to get the information out there, I sort of alluded to some of these already. I think the first thing that's going to work really well for me, since I am sort of embedded in this community already, is to work through my personal contacts, kind of an informal, letting them know that I'm trying to enter into this field and see if there's some people they know that I could use as sort of my, I won't call it a guinea pig, but something like that, just a first trial. Another thing that I have going for me is I'm very connected to the Jewish community here and the Jewish Federation of St. Joseph County, and know a lot of the elderly through my synagogue and through the Federation, and through some other faith-based groups that I would have sort of an immediate clientele, and I sort of see a need for that, especially with older adults who their families live outside of the town, but they still need somebody to sort of check in and help navigate what the next steps are. The other thing is I volunteer with the Center for Hospice Care, and so getting out, and what's interesting about them is they're moving much more into palliative care, so they could use somebody like me to help families navigate, or at least to pass families on to me if they can't help them. So community groups or nonprofit organizations like that could be a good place, good outlet to send some of this information. And finally, the University of Notre Dame is huge here. My husband works there, and they have an employee assistance plan, which many larger corporations have, where there would be more formal assistance. So possibly hooking into something like an employee assistance plan is another benefit to give to employees of having somebody like myself to help them navigate some of these issues would be good. So just in general, how this could help the field of gerontology, I think any of the marketing materials that I develop could be something that could be passed on to other people who are working in this field. And I think just for my community in general, just having them understand the benefits of this type of service, even if they don't use me, but how it might be something that could help people. Anyway, that is my initial dissemination plan. Thank you.